I'm gonna burp. You can keep that in.
We're here with Kayla.
Hi!
And you are currently in the touring show Book of Mormon.
I am.
Can you tell us who you play and some of your other credits?
Oh yeah, okay. I play Nabalungi in the national tour of Book of Mormon. My other credits, man, when I got out of school, I went to do theme parks, cruise ships, so I didn't really do much like standard theater, but when I was in school I did shows like Legally Blonde and South Pacific and a lot of obscure things, more obscure things. And then after that, after my cruise ships and everything, I went to do Radio City, where I sang for the Rockettes, and then I went to Korea to do the Korean tour of Dreamgirls, and then I ended up here.
Yay! So we're here in Columbia, South Carolina, gorgeous city of hot, humid air. And so what has it been like being on tour with Book of Mormon? This is your first like touring show, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, my tour of Dreamgirls was supposed to tour, but that actually ended up being a 4-month sit down. So this is my first time like being out on the road with a show, and it is unlike anything I expected it to be, honestly. I mean, it's one of the most tiring, exhausting experiences, but at the same time it's so rewarding and so fun that like you don't even realize you're tired until you hit the bed, you know? Like you just keep going off everyone's energy and the show's energy, and it's the most fun thing I've ever experienced.
What has been your favorite city?
Oof. My favorite city so far, I think, was San Francisco, because we got a month there, and usually we do like 1-week stints in each place. So having a month in San Francisco to just explore and be down by the bay, and kind of, I love to say that I'm like a hippie on the inside, so kind of experience all that culture and everything. I mean, it was awesome. I love San Fran.
Awesome. And how much longer does the tour have? Or do you know how much longer you're in the tour?
I don't know how much longer I'm in the tour. The tour, luckily, could go forever. I mean, as long as we keep selling tickets that you keep buying, then we could go on for an endless amount of years, which is really nice. And since it's such a big show, we're kind of hoping for that, that we have job security until we're in our 50s. But yeah, it's cool because right now I'm kind of in this place where I'm replacing someone, and she was pregnant and she went off to have her sweet little baby, and now I'm just kind of seeing like where things are going to fall for me, and it's very cool. I'm enjoying every day that I'm with them.
So since you're continuing with the tour once this is over on Monday, where is a place that you're really excited to go?
Denver. Oh, Denver, Colorado. I wanted to go to Denver my whole life, so this is like vacation, and we get another month there, so it's like I'm going to explore everything. I cannot wait to just be in the mountains and the trees, and hopefully they're all snow-capped, and I mean, it'll be the summer, but we'll see. Yeah. I'm excited.
So for people who do not know the show, can you explain your character just a little bit?
Ooh, Nabalungi is like this Disney princess type character in her village. I mean, she's like bright-eyed, and like she's just everyone's baby, and everyone wants to take care of her. And when these 2 Mormon missionaries come to the village, they kind of open her eyes to a whole nother world, a whole new world. Open her eyes to just like paradise, honestly. And so she tries to get all of her people on board and tries to get them to come along and join the religion with her so she can save her village.
What has been your favorite thing about being in Book of Mormon?
My favorite thing about being in Book of Mormon, probably my cast. They're the most beautiful, supportive people, most talented people I've ever met. They blow my mind every single day. And doing this show, it's like, yeah, it's a comedy and it's fun and it's written by the people for South Park, so it's so fun and in your face, but every single night we make it different somehow, and we just have fun with it in our own way, and that makes it super special.
What's it like being in front of so many different audiences with so many different responses?
That's a loaded question. Because we do so many cities, it's like, it's not like in New York where people come and they know what they're getting. Like sometimes you have these like season ticket holder subscribers, you know what I mean? And so we always go into a city and we have to feel it out, like, ooh, are we going to offend? Are they going to love it? How are they going to receive us? And luckily, we've, for the most part, gotten nothing but positive and beautiful reactions from everyone who sees our show. But it's always a bit scary. Like, it is, because our show is so in your face and very inappropriate. So we're just kind of like, do they like us? Do they like us? And then by the end, we're like, oh, okay, we can breathe again.
Cool, they like us.
Yeah.
We did good. They applauded us.
Yes.
Okay. What has been your favorite part of the show, I guess? Like, do you have a favorite part of the show?
Ooh, in the show?
Yes.
Ooh, my favorite part in the show is one that I, like, actually can't talk about in detail. But it's in Act 2 where Nabalungi puts on this pageant, we call it the pageant, of what she thinks the Book of Mormon, from what they've described to her, is. And it's outrageous, and it's my favorite part of the show because just the jaws on the floor that you see are crazy.
Do you have a favorite song in the show?
Favorite song in the show? I'm obviously biased to Salt Lake City, just because that's the time where I can connect. And luckily in the show it happens very early on for me. So it's just the time where I can connect most with Nabalungi, and I feel like from that point on I am just like in sync with her, and I'm like, great, we're ready to go and take this ride.
You mentioned that you love the family of this cast. What's it been like getting to travel the road with them?
Oh, I mean, I clearly have so many emotions. It's kind of crazy because I've done a lot of things that have taken me away from my family. Cruise ships take you away for 8 to 9 months, and you could be in the middle of the ocean on the other side of the world. Korea obviously took me so far away, and so it's really important that you have a cast of people who can function as a family. And sometimes that doesn't always happen, and with this cast, God, we are such a family. I mean, it's like sometimes my family comes out too much sometimes. I'm like, but I want to hang out with them. And like, we're very, very content on the road, though we do miss a lot of people, our friends and family at home. I mean, it just makes it so much easier.
Okay, so you mentioned that you did Radio City Music Hall.
Yeah.
Tell us about that.
Oh, God. Radio City. It's like, I feel very blessed because I feel like I have all these, like, experiences that are5 uncreatable, or like once-in-a-lifetime experiences. Radio City was like, first of all, I started off as a dancer when I was like 5, 6 years old, and I always wanted to be a rockette. I wasn't a rockette, but getting to be that close to them was such a magical experience. I mean, and I love Christmas. I'm one of those Christmas music year-round listeners. So like getting to be there and like working on Christmas for 3 months and having the most magical Christmas that anyone could imagine. I woke up every day just like Cinderella, like like just singing and like trot to work. Like nothing could faze me during that time.
So for those who are like at home who are wanting to do exactly what you're doing, what is your advice to them about their education and like how they should go about auditioning and just the life of an actor?
Yeah, for sure. Oof.
That was a lot in one question.
Yeah, it is. Because I feel like there's so much advice that you could give, but everyone's experience is so completely different. As far as education, my like Cliff Notes version is just do as much on your own as you possibly can. Like even if it doesn't matter if you go to the top school or like if you're majoring in something that is not musical theater or theater, if you do so much research on your own, like these days you can find voice lessons online, you can find acting classes online for completely free. You have an endless database of musical history right there on your computer. I mean, you just have to learn as much as you can and take that all in. Like when I was in school, I would say like I was not the most studious person. I definitely didn't take it seriously because I was like, we're in school, we should be having fun. And it's such the wrong thing to do, and it took me until I graduated school to finally be like, okay, now I have to catch up. Learn as much as you can. I mean, when we have people come to the stage door, my advice is honestly just do as much as you can on your own, as well as doing all of your studies, of course, but just like take in an endless amount of information, because that will benefit you more than anything.
Okay, so now I want to know what your thoughts are. So we're in Tony season currently. And being a theater person, I would assume that you're like up to date.
Oh, I'm so into it.
So what are your thoughts on the Tonys for this season? The Tony nominees, I guess. They haven't happened yet.
Okay. We were actually having this debate last night because we were talking about how everything's just like so commercial now. Everything is so commercial now, and it like kind of bothers me, but it also is like great because for little commercial me that means endless amounts of jobs. But I don't know, with this year's Tonys, I'm like, the band's visit I've heard is so good.
So good.
I haven't gotten to see it yet, but I'm like, the band's visit as far as like art, I guess should be at the top. But then we have like Mean Girls, we have SpongeBob, and I saw SpongeBob, and I'm like, SpongeBob's definitely winning for like lighting, set design. I mean, that was awesome. The score has to win. But I don't know. I honestly think Mean Girls is taking our like best musical Tony.
Probably.
I think
it's, well, I don't know. It's like a whole, it's literally like this. Mean Girls and SpongeBob are like this.
And then you have to take in like all the politics of everything.
Yeah, that as well.
Oof. Yeah.
That as well. But my mom and I are hoping for Once on This Island. We saw Once on This Island twice.
Yeah. You did?
So good.
I really wish I could have seen it. I have a friend in it. Hi, Tyler. I'm pulling for Once on This Island, but I just feel like it's not going to get the credit it deserves, and it deserves so much.
Yeah. So, have you ever like been to a Tony?
I have
or
not
want
been
to
to
go?
the Absolutely.
I mean, obviously, I don't know who doesn't want to go.
Absolutely. I would do many things to be at the Tonys. I mean, I that's all of our dream, right? It's like my football season. That and like The Bachelor. Or like what I fantasy football league for myself is the Tonys and The Bachelor.
Yeah. So, if you were in one of the Tony nominated musicals right now, what would you be in and who would you be?
I think just because my window is closing, I have to take Haley's spot in Once on This Island. I have to. Like I mean, and I guess you could be T-Moon for endless amounts of years, but I just want to do it while I'm still young and sprightly because my little dancer body is starting to clench up on me, so I want to have the energy to run around.
So if you could be in any show, like, period, that has been on Broadway or produced, I guess.
Okay.
What would it be?
Okay.
And who would you be?
I have
and
two
why?
separate answers. Is that okay?
Okay, yes. It's fine.
Okay, my first one is absolutely ridiculous, I think. No, maybe it's not. It's not ridiculous. I saw Hedwig and the Angry Inch 3 times on Broadway. 3 times, and I am in love with Lena Hall, and just her track in that show was something I didn't even know we could do in theater. You know, like to play a man who how do you explain this? To be a woman, to play a man who's in love with a man playing a woman, and like exploring all these facets of sexuality and fluidity, and they go through so much emotion. It's so raw. Ooh, that's art I want to create. I want to be a part of that. And then in the same right, Natasha Pierre.
Oh, that's a good
I
show.
also saw 3 times on that. And to be Natasha in that show is like, I mean, she's limitless. She has no bounds. She could literally be anyone. You could cast anyone in it who could do the role, obviously. But, I mean, and on stage, you could play around with anyone. I mean, that's just like a crazy experience that I want to live in.
So, growing up, who were, like, your inspirations?
Growing up...
I guess you're still, like, growing up as
Yeah,
well. So.
yeah, I'm still growing up. I guess my big musical theater inspirations were Audra McDonald, because she broke so many barriers down for Black women that I would see her doing things, and I would just happen to come upon them because, once again, I didn't take anything seriously. So I was just kind of like, I would come upon a YouTube video and be like, oh, she was in that too? So, I mean, she taught me so much about what we can do, and her voice is something I'd never heard anyone sound like, so I started to explore like the soprano range of my voice, and she was very, very inspiring. Other than that, I tell you, I literally learned how to sing off the Legally Blonde soundtrack. I'm dead serious. Like, I learned how to belt off that soundtrack, how to have, like, the sustainability to do a full show like that off that soundtrack, which really prepared me for now, because that was wonderful. One of our earlier modern, like, belting shows. And so it really did. It prepared me for now to be in shows where you have to be belting endlessly, which is our thing now.
Yeah. But now I guess it's like belting and dancing and acting.
Yeah, it's
all at the
everything.
same time.
You
Because
have to
now
have
everyone
everything.
can belt.
Yeah.
And everyone can dance and everyone can act.
Yeah.
But not everyone can do it together.
And that's the thing.
Yes.
That is where we are now.
Your Legally Blonde was my Wicked.
Ooh, Wicked too,
Yeah.
though. Wicked, oh, I love Wicked.
Okay, I remember, I think I was like, what were we, 7? I was like 7 maybe. And we got tickets in Charlotte to go see Wicked. And she had a CD of it and was like, okay, I'm going to play this for you so, like, you hear it and you, like, know it when we go. And the very first chords played and I was like, stop it, it's scary. I did not want to listen to it at all. I did not want to listen to it.
That makes sense. It's terrifying.
No, it is.
Even when you see it for the first time, you're kind of
yeah,
like...
when the dragon moves and you're
it's so overwhelming.
yeah, but then
I loved Wicked
we went
too.
to go see it and then it just didn't stop.
I did the same thing. I'd pop the soundtrack in and my mom
yeah.
would be like, you know, maybe we should try something else. And she got me into musical theater. I didn't even know what it was until my mom, she took me to see Chicago when it came out in theaters. And so we went to Chicago and I sat in the front row and I was all pouty. And I was like, what's a musical? And I remember looking up at it and watching it and then my eyes just grew. And then from there it was like, I was stuck with it. And she was stuck with it. And she had no idea it was going to be that way.
I feel like a lot of us are like that. We're like, I don't know what this is. And then you go and you're like, oh,
yeah,
that's what that is.
An amazing
I'm going to do that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, thank you for having me in your wonderful one-week dressing room. If you want to follow Kayla, you can follow her on Instagram at
Kayla Pecchioni.
and on Twitter at... Do you have Twitter?
Oh, I don't have Twitter.
Okay. Well,
I'm lame. I'm old.
You have a YouTube though, right? Maybe?
Yeah, but it's not really updated.
Oh.
Don't do the YouTube.
Okay.
No.
Well, you can follow her on Instagram there. And come see Book of Mormon. I will put a link to tickets below for a city near you, or you can go see... Is it in New York City still?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's okay. Had to be sure.
Or London or Australia.
Or all those other places.
Everywhere. We're everywhere.
It's everywhere.